today's tutorial we will be sewing our bikini pattern top Snowflake, but today we will be sewing it as a bra. So let's see the supplies we need to sew the bra. I have here a 𝗍𝗿 kit. This is for the smaller hook and eye, and actually the pattern is designed for a larger hook and eye, so I'm gonna see if I change the pattern or whatever I need to do. I really love the kits because they include everything you need, and despite this is a pattern that it doesn't have a straight line on the upper cup for a lace, you can actually straighten this line if you want and do it with the lace using the scallops of the lace. And it also includes the power mesh and the straps, the rings, everything. But I had this additionally at home. It's the same color, and it is the elastic for the underbust according to my pattern, which is 1.8. So this is the elastic I will be using here, and not the one that came with the kit, because this is a kit for a small, and I'm doing this pattern has some things like the underbust that is a larger elastic. And then for the sides, since this is a balconette pattern, I will use some boning to help structuring the pattern and stabilizing it on my body. And I have this, I've never used this. This is from 𝗍𝗿 also. This is a channel to insert the bone. I sew this into my lining and then I insert the bone. I've never used it. It's black, but nevertheless, I'm gonna still use it because it's the first time I'm gonna use it. So I'm gonna use the black one. And then of course you need your cutter to cut all the fabrics. I have a duckbill scissor, which I'm still learning how to use it. And then my regular small scissor, my pattern, and some pins. And of course, your straight stitch machine. You don't need overlock to do this pattern. Has a bra, of course. So let's start by cutting all our fabrics, and I'm gonna walk through which fabrics I'm cutting so that if this is your first time, you will know exactly which specifications for each fabric we have. To be able to use the scallops from my lace, I have to make the top of my upper cup straight. And so I don't have a light table, but I went to my window and I traced my upper cup to a piece of paper. And if you just do a straight line here, this will be the new line to cut the scallops. But I'm afraid that this might be too low. I'm not sure. Well, I will try. If it's too low, I don't know. I will manage. So this is my new pattern line to cut the scallops. I'm going to cut this without any seam allowance because this is the scallop line. And once you have this cut, you have your new paper pattern piece for your lace. I'm not going to do this with foam today, so if I wanted to do this with foam, I would do that on another video, so you can learn how you can also sew this with foam, cut and sew foam, but not today. So now that I have my pattern piece here, my new one, I know that when I cut my lace, I'm gonna align the lower part of my scallop with this line here, and I'm gonna cut it like so. But since I want the two sides to be symmetric, I'm also going to be careful enough to actually, let me think, if I fold this, probably left, right, probably I should cut one on this side and one on this side. Because here they go to the left and here they go to the right. Yeah, that's it. In this case, with this trim lace, what I'm going to do is I will cut one on this side, and then I will check the leaves, and I will cut the same on this side so that they are symmetrical, okay? And regarding the upper cup, that's the only change you need to do. So I'm now ready to cut my lace on all the fabrics, on all the pattern pieces. So as I told you, I'm gonna cut first the upper cup, one side and the other. And then I need to cut my bridge. I need to cut my 2 cups. Of course, I have to cut one with the instructions facing up and then the same on the opposite sides, so that I have the 2 cups. For the bridge you only need 1, as always. For the cradle you need 2, so again one like so and the other symmetric. And for the back we don't cut lace. Okay, so that's it. Let's start cutting our fabrics. Watch the flower, and then I'm gonna place the flower align here, and the scallop is also with the same matching symmetric thing, you understand? And now instead of cutting this one, I'm gonna flip it over, place the pattern and cut. Probably noticed at this point that I do not pin my fabric to the pattern. I just place my hands on the pattern and I cut directly the fabrics. Of course, this means that you need to practice to be able to do this, and practice takes time, of course. But the main thing here is that I don't think we need to pin. You can, of course, pin, and there are people that also cut this with scissors. I don't know how, because I wouldn't be able to do this properly with scissors. But I totally understand that every person has different ways of doing the same things. However, I just want to tell you that when I do this like I'm doing now, I never take my hands off the paper. I never remove my hands. I can go around and cut wherever I need, but I never remove the hand. I can move the hands, but I never release the pressure against the table. And this is how I am sure that the pattern is properly cut. Now I want to cut the other cradle, so I'm gonna find the leaves, the symmetric leaves that I've cut, and I've found them. It's here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to try and match this exact same thing, but to do so I'm going to mark probably the top here with a pin, and also here, and one more spot here. And now I remove my fabric and I place my paper on the same spot. At least I'm gonna try. I think that's it. I remove the pins, stabilize everything, and cut. I also forgot to tell you that we need to mark the notches that are mentioned on the pattern, And of course, that's a must. We need to cut the fabrics according to the greater stretch. And the grain line, which is opposite to the greater stretch, is always mentioned on all our patterns. So it's easy for you to find. Okay, I now have my left side of my cradle. And with the power mesh we can cut the back pieces, and of course this is a strong power mesh. It's not very thick. I have one that it's even thicker than this one, but it's strong, and you have one direction which is a little bit more stretchier than the other. So if you want more tight against your body, probably you could go for this one, but I really think for comfort that we should go the greater stretch horizontally. So I have my greater stretch here, and I'm gonna grab my back, which I can already tell you that probably this is too big, too long, because this is made for a bikini, and on the bikini we have a clasp on the back. But I actually think then when I'm gonna release the pattern that probably I will do a back pattern piece for the bikini, because I want this to be a bit smaller to fit a 3.5, but I will think. You will see when I have the pattern. Please read the description so you know if you need to do any adjustments, and if you do, of course, I will release videos on how to do the adjustments, as always. So I'm gonna cut 2 of these, just like I'm showing you here. I folded the fabric so I can cut 2 at once, and that's it.